You've joined me tonight on Lemongrass Spa Corporate, and tonight we are going to talk all about essential oils. This is going to be so much fun. I know we're going to have a lot of viewers on, so I'm going to check here in a minute to see what that looks like. But I want to introduce you to our audience tonight because you are a wealth of information. You are a director here at Lemongrass Spa, and recently you moved back stateside from Guam. As a military spouse, I just can't thank you enough for your husband's service and for spreading the word about lemongrass to the military community as well.
All right, no problem.
So it's been great getting to know you. And I think it's super fascinating because you are a certified aromatherapist. So we're thrilled. I'm going to let you do the talking. I might ask you a couple questions here and there, but one of the reasons you fell in love with lemongrass without even having tried products was the fact that we had safe and organic or wild crafted essential oils, and especially our blends. So I'm going to first have you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your family, and then we'll dive into the workshop.
Okay, sounds good. Well, like you said, my name is Marie. I'm a military spouse. We moved from Guam to Delaware this summer. So we have moved a lot of places over the years. My husband's been in for almost 20 years. So we've moved a lot. I used to joke that we had pets that had moved more places than some people I knew. So I have two kiddos. I have a 12-year-old daughter and I have a 9-year-old son. So it's entirely possible that one of them may pop in here during this presentation because they're supposed to be in bed. But I have been using Lemongrass Spa now for 2 years, which was when I first became a consultant. I had never used it or even heard of it before I became a consultant. A friend of mine had been telling me about it for a while and I kept blowing her off. I'm like, yeah, I know how to make all that stuff. I'm not interested. And then I ran out of makeup one day, and I'd been using makeup from this company for years, like since I was a teenager, and they went out of business. And I was like, who do I know that has good makeup? And she's like, Marie, you need to check out Lemongrass Spa. And so finally, she'd been telling me for probably 6 months at that point. I finally looked at it. And I pulled it up online because I didn't know a consultant. She was just a customer. She wasn't a consultant. And I started flipping through the catalog and looking things through. And I was like, oh, they use the same ingredients in their deodorant that I use. Oh, they use their same ingredients in their lotions that I use. And I started looking at prices and I was like, these prices are great. Like, I can't even ship ingredients to Guam and make the product for what they're selling them for. I'm like, this is fantastic. And the more I flipped through the catalog and read online, the more I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to do this. I don't think I'm going to make, bespoke blends anymore. I'm just going to sell Lemongrass Spa. And I signed up that day, having never tried a product. I didn't know any consultants and haven't looked back. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made.
That's fantastic, Marie. Well, it's been a joy getting to know you, and you've just excelled here at Lemongrass because of your knowledge with so many of the products, having made your own. So you know exactly what that process looks like, and you have an appreciation for the ingredients, but then also your love of essential oils and helping teach people about how to use them.
Yes, I definitely feel like a lot of people are overwhelmed when it comes to essential oils because there is a little bit of a learning curve. So I always like to try and make it simple. So I always tell people, there's 2 ways you can use essential oils. You can use them topically or you can use them aromatically. Those are the 2 ways that I like to use them the most. My favorite is aromatic because I feel like you get the most benefit for your mood and your emotions when you use it aromatically. Whereas when you're using it topically, that's when you're going to have more of a physical impact. So that's what you would use if you have like sore muscles or sore joints or aches and pains. And you always want to make sure that you use it safely diluted. And that's actually one of the things I love about Lemongrass Spa. Every time you order an essential oil from Lemongrass, they send you this awesome reference guide. And I know you can't really see it, but it gives you recipe ideas and tips on how to dilute it properly and make sure that you're using it safely. So that was one of the things that really appealed to me because there's a lot of unsafe recommendations out there. And I love that Lemongrass Spa is telling people how to properly use essential oils and keep people safe.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the topical use versus the aromatic. When you're talking aromatic, what speaks to me is using a diffuser. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I know you mentioned, that really helps your mental state, your mood, and all those kinds of things. And I know there are viewers watching tonight, like anything that you can do to help me sleep better, I am all over it.
Mhm.
But then you also talked about the mood lifting capabilities. And I don't know, Marie, after a long day, that speaks volumes to a lot of us listening.
Yes. So I always like to tell people that essential oils, based on where they come from the plant, have different properties and will have different effects as you use them. So for example, if you think about seeds of a plant, that's, very supportive for new growth. Whereas like the roots or the rootlets or the rhizomes of the plant, that's going to be more feeling grounded or settled, very calming. The wood or the trunk, if you're looking at some of the wood oils specifically, that's going to be more helping you feel centered. Those oils are very helpful for skeletal and muscular systems. They can help reduce pain, because if you think about the trunk of a plant, it supports the whole plant. And so it has to be very centered and strong and help support the plant. Resins, I always like to talk about resins because most people don't know what resins are. So this is actually a jar of resins. So this is, I think, frankincense, myrrh, and apopanax in a blend. And resins are kind of like, almost like the sap or the tears of a tree. So like frankincense, for example, the way frankincense is harvested is they'll like scar or cut a tree, and the resin comes out almost like the tears. And when it hardens, this is what it looks like. So this is frankincense, I think. Let me pull a piece out. So it's very hard, but this is actually where the essential oil comes from frankincense. It comes from resin, which I think is really cool. And I never knew that before I was a certified aromatherapist. I didn't know what, when I first became a certified aromatherapist before I started school, I thought essential oils was something that you cooked with. Like, is that like olive oil? Like, what do you do with essential oils? Is it
Yeah.
something you eat? It's like essential for your body. So I always like to tell people, I'm like, nobody knows everything about essential oils. Even as certified aromatherapists, we're constantly learning and finding new ways to blend and new ways to benefit people with essential oils. But I digress. So some of the other places essential oils come from is leaves, sprigs, grass, or needles. So for example, lemongrass from Lemongrass Spa is actually a type of grass. And those types of essential oils are very supportive to the respiratory system. They can help protect us from infection. They're very calming. They help clear the mind. So lemongrass is actually a very powerful, very potent essential oil. And I love that the company is called Lemongrass Spa. Whereas flowers are more what you think of like for emotional support. They're like a sign of love or friendship. They're very soothing to the heart. They're soothing and calming to the mind. They're really good for the head or for facial skincare. And then fruits are very uplifting. They're cleansing, they're refreshing, they help clear energy. So I love talking about citrus oils. So I think I have one in here, have my little basket full of essential oils here. So one of my favorite essential oils is grapefruit, and grapefruit is in our Energized blend. And one of the other ones that we have, let's see, sweet orange, we have lemon. So here's a little tip for improving mood. So any of our citrus oils are going to be very uplifting, and they're going to be very like emotionally balancing. They're going to help improve mood, give you like a better, more positive outlook. So I like to call sweet orange the grumpy hubby solution. It's like if your spouse, wife or husband, comes home in a bad mood from work, they've had like a really trying day, you just very quietly go over and put a little bit of citrus oils in your diffuser and turn it on and just kind of walk away and just watch as the mood of your house improves. So I love to diffuse lemon when my kids are doing homework, because I inadvertently did a science experiment one day. I noticed that every day that they came home from school, they were crabby because they were hungry. They needed a snack. They'd been in school all day, and then I'd have them come home and start working on homework and eat right away. And if they didn't eat first, they always fought. Like homework took an hour. They were just like at each other's throats the whole time. And so one day I had been cleaning the kitchen or something right before they came home, and I had been diffusing lemon. And they came home and they didn't fight. They like had their snack and they were done with their homework in like 30 minutes. And I was like, what just happened? Like, this was like not our typical, after school routine. And I was like, I don't think I did anything different. And then I was like, oh, I was diffusing lemon. So the next day, I didn't diffuse anything. And it was typical fighting, not getting along, took an hour to do their homework. So then the day after that, I diffused lemon. They did their homework in like 30 minutes. There was no fighting. They were very focused on what they were supposed to be doing. And lemon is very helpful for focus and concentration. And obviously it's citrus, so it uplifts mood. So anyway, I love talking about essential oils and
I
all
love that story, Marie. They're going to want the they're going to all want to place their order for lemon essential oil ASAP. I'm telling you what, I love that experiment. I might have to try that myself.
Yeah, it's a great one. And it's so easy to do. And I mean, lemon, when you think about it, it's just very uplifting. It just makes your house feel fresh and clean. And
It does.
lemongrass is the same way. I love lemongrass. I love to diffuse lemongrass. I love the way it smells. But I always like to tell people a little bit about essential oils, because not every plant produces essential oils. They come from specialized cells in certain plants, and they can be harvested either by cold pressing them or through steam distillation, are two of the more common methods. There's also other methods that require different types of extraction. And so that's why essential oils are expensive. So I know one of the ones that always blows me away is like lavender. If you think about lavender and you hold a sprig of lavender in your hand, it weighs next to nothing. It's very, very light. And it takes lots and lots and lots of plant material to squeeze a single drop out of lavender. So when you think about that, I can't remember what I used to know like the exact numbers. But if you think about how much plant material it takes for a single drop of essential oil, it's like mind blowing. And so when people are like, well, why are essential oils so expensive? Well, because it's a lot of plant material that goes into every single drop. And that drop is so concentrated that that's all you need. That's why I tell people less is more with essential oils. You only need like a drop or two and you're good. And then when you dilute it, you're getting that benefit of the carrier oil on your skin, in addition to the aromatic benefits of the essential oil. So a little, bottle of essential oil, like this is my personal favorite, our Chill Zone. This little bottle has lasted me for 2 years and I still have some left. I mean, a little goes a long way because you only put a few drops in your diffuser at any given time.
Yeah.
So I always like to tell people too, one of the things that sets Lemongrass Spa apart is all of our oils. And I don't know if you guys can tell because this is really small, but
You
all
can
of our
see it.
oils, yeah, they're either USDA certified organic or they're wild crafted. And wild crafted just means that it's grown without, pesticides or any kind of sprays, and it's harvested as it's grown in the wild. And then obviously USDA organic has the organic certifications, which means no spraying, and it's much higher quality because you want to make sure that you're having the best quality plants to get the best quality essential oils. So I love that all of our oils are wild crafted or organic from Lemongrass Spa. And one of the other things that I love about our oils is that you can request a GCMS report for any of our oils. So for most people, that probably doesn't mean anything. As a certified aromatherapist, that to me is a sign of a company that's very transparent and that wants you to know exactly what you're buying. So GCMS stands for gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, And the way I always explain that when I teach classes about this is imagine that you're making blueberry muffins, and blueberry muffins have 4 ingredients. That's your gas chromatography portion. Okay, so it has blueberries, milk, sugar, and flour. That's your gas chromatography portion of the report. The quantity of milk, sugar, blueberries, and flour. So say you have half a cup of blueberries, a quarter cup of sugar, a cup of milk, and 2 cups of flour. That's your mass spectrometry portion of the report. So when you have gas chromatography and mass spectrometry, it's going to tell you what's in that bottle of oil and in what quantities, so you know exactly what you're getting out of that bottle. And the reason that's important as an aromatherapist is because that is what tells us that, for example, lavender is really high in linalool, which is the component of that particular essential oil that makes it very relaxing and makes you feel so serene when you smell lavender or when you're diffusing or using lavender. And I always tell people, anyone that can open a bottle of essential oil is using that essential oil aromatically, because just opening it and smelling it, it's getting into your olfactory system, it's going into your brain, and it's impacting your body and your mood and your mind and helping you to remember things or focus or feel less stressed. So anyone can benefit from using essential oils as long as they can open a bottle, which is what I love about essential oils.
Yeah. I was just going over to the Facebook page and I need to turn down my volume. um, so lots of great comments, and I was just getting a little bit of feedback there, but lots of great comments are coming in, Marie. And one of the things too is not only do you, I know you how much you love the blends, but some of the single oils, you certainly mentioned some of them. And I love that you brought up frankincense, because it's one of my favorites. I love smelling it out of the bottle. It's biblical, so that's something meaningful to me, because as a kid, I read about, frankincense and myrrh, right? And I always wondered, I wonder what that stuff is. Is it perfume? What is it? And then when I got involved with actually creating products, this was one of the essential oils that was top on my list to be able to offer very affordably to our customers, because I love adding it to our existing skincare. And like the anti-aging oil serum at night, if I'm feeling extra dry or like, I just need that little extra boost of radiance, that is my go-to. I absolutely love it. And you're exactly right about the citrus, because I remember using a car diffuser when my girls were a little bit younger, and I would diffuse one of the citrus oils, and boy, would that change the mood in the vehicle almost immediately. So there's definitely something to be said for that. One of the other safety things that we always suggest at Lemongrass too, which is a little bit different than what some other companies or aromatherapists even suggest, is ingesting oils. And I know, Marie, you and I are on the same page with that, just to be extremely cautious about the recommendations for ingesting oils. In fact, I see recipes online all the time to add lemon or add orange to your hot tea or your water. So what are a couple of reasons, Marie, that you would not suggest that from a safety perspective?
Well, there's a few things. So I always think about, when you're learning science, when you're a child, they tell you oil and water don't mix. Well, it's the same with essential oils. So as an aromatherapist, I don't recommend ingesting essential oils, because think about it. One drop has sometimes hundreds of pounds of plant material in that single drop. And so if you're ingesting that, you're actually impacting your body systems, because especially your mouth, there's a lot of blood vessels in your mouth and in your mucous membranes that are very, very sensitive. And so to have something that concentrated hit your mouth undiluted, and water does not dilute essential oils. Carrier oil is what dilutes essential oils. So to put that in your mouth, especially, it's getting directly into your bloodstream, and that's really, really high concentration. The reason that when you use topical essential oils and you use a carrier oil is because the carrier oil is like a fat. And so It helps to slow down the absorption. It helps to spread out the absorption. So it's not going into like a single point on your body. It's spreading out, and it's allowing your body to slowly absorb that essential oil and benefit from the constituents that it contains. But you don't want to ingest essential oils because it can impact, especially if you're on any kind of medications, it can have consequences on those medications and make them not as effective, make them more effective. And so I always recommend you only work with a certified aromatherapist who's trained in using essential oils internally if you're planning to ingest essential oils. And they have specific training that they have to go through on making sure that you're diluting it properly and in the right medium, so that if you do ingest it, it's not going to have any kind of pharmacological effects, and it's going to actually be beneficial to you, and not be detrimental to you.
Excellent advice, Marie. No kidding. So I appreciate you sharing that, because it is something that we see from time to time, and we always try to caution people, especially when there's misinformation about that.
Mhm.
So, what are some other uses, and how can our viewers at home really tap into using essential oils? Maybe it's the first time they've really been exposed to this, or they're looking to kind of increase their arsenal, if you will, their medicine cabinets at home, with essential oils, instead of the pharmaceuticals. Obviously, there's so many uses, and mood, we covered that. Let's talk about sleep for a minute. What
Okay.
are some recommendations on improving the quality of sleep at night?
So I know most people have at least heard of lavender. Lavender is kind of a go-to for most people when they think about relaxing and sleep. So I always like to tell people that essential oils are different for everybody, and what works really well for one person may not work really well for another person. And so they're very bio-individual is what I like to say. So I like to give the example of my children. So I have a 12-year-old daughter and I have a 9-year-old son. And my daughter absolutely loves lavender. She smells lavender and she's like out like a light. My son is just the opposite. Smelling lavender actually like wakes him up. And so if we let him smell lavender before he goes to bed, it's a long night. Whereas like if we use something different that's more suited for him, he's out like a light in like 5 minutes. So I always tell people, experiment. First of all, go with scents that you like, because if you like it, you're going to be more apt to use it. Whereas if you smell it and you're like, I don't like the way this smells at all, you're not going to use it because it smells gross to you. And so like I always like to give the example of geranium. The first time I smelled geranium, I did not like it. I was not a fan. And then a few months went by and, things were different. Like I was in a different place in my life and I smelled geranium and I was like, I don't know why I didn't like this. This smells amazing. It was literally the same exact bottle. But I feel like your body will let you know what you need and what you're ready for, and so just go with what you need at that moment. So one of the things I love about our blends in particular, especially like our chill zone blend, one of my other favorites is the Pure Air blend, is I am actually sensitive to peppermint. So a lot of times people say, oh, peppermint, it's great for headaches, it helps to open up your airway, and because peppermint's very good for the respiratory system. And so with me, it actually causes me to have issues with my respiration, and it actually causes headaches for me, whereas most people, it alleviates headaches. So I absolutely loved the Pure Air, which is one of the blends that's recommended to diffuse in the air and like clean the space. Most blends that are recommended for that have peppermint in them because peppermint's very refreshing, it's very uplifting, and I can't use that. But Pure Air doesn't have peppermint, so I can actually use this, and I love how bright it is, and I love that it makes me happy when I smell it.
Me
And
too.
this is the other thing I love about the blends from Lemongrass Spa. So I've smelled a lot of different essential oils over the years. I've been an aromatherapist now for almost 3 years. And we have to blend our own products as we go through school to become an aromatherapist. And so you learn how to blend, and what, goes well together. And if you add this oil to this oil, it's going to make it smell like this. And I love that the blends from Lemongrass Spa are so well balanced. You know, they're not harsh. A lot of times you open a bottle and you smell it and you're like, whoa, because it's too overpowering. And ours are very subtle. They're not overpowering. They're like really well balanced. And I love that we don't use a lot of different oils in our blends. So I think they're usually like around 5 or 6 oils, which I think is a great number of oils to blend so that they can work together synergistically. So what I love about blends is that, for example, let me pull up my notes here. For example, I was talking a little bit about parts of plants. So I said that flowers are emotionally supportive, fruits are uplifting and cleansing. So if you have a blend that has one kind of flower, it's going to be emotionally supportive. If you have 2 kinds of flowers, it's going to be even more emotionally supportive because blends work together synergistically. So one of the blends that I really like, and I probably won't be able to find it really quickly, is our Balancing Act blend, because it has rose and it has jasmine. Oh yeah,
Love
you've
it.
already got it.
Yep, we're twinning. Yeah, I love this. Yep.
So I have my old bottle. I couldn't find my old bottle. I'm like, let me get my new bottle. So this is actually something else that I love about the company. When you get your oils, they're wrapped really well so they don't leak in transit. You don't have to worry about any of those precious oils spilling and, you know, wasting a single drop, because they're wrapped really well and they're sealed when you get them. So, but anyway, Balancing Act is one of my favorites because it has jasmine, it has rose, and rose is one of those oils that it's like $250 a bottle if you buy it by itself, because it takes something like 18,000 roses to make a single drop of rose essential oil. And so I love that we have Balancing Act, and it's this affordable solution where we can benefit from that beautiful rose and jasmine, which is another really expensive oil. And we can get the benefits of both because they're working synergistically together with those flowers and giving you even more benefits and helping you feel more calm and have that mood elevation. But Chill Zone is my absolute favorite when it comes to sleep, rest, calming, because I just love that it has such a great selection of items in it. So it's got obviously lavender, which is very calming. It has Roman chamomile, which is another one that's very, very calming. Again, flowers, which are very supportive. They're soothing to the heart and they're very calming to the mind. So I love that it's got just such a great blend of different oils that help you just feel very relaxed and very like relieved. It helps minimize those worries that you're dealing with. So it's got chamomile, it has lavender, it has neroli flowers, which I always love talking about neroli. So when you think about an orange tree, there's actually 3 different essential oils that can come from, I think it's a bitter orange tree. You can get the orange oil, you can get the neroli oil, which comes from the flowers. And then there's another one that comes, I believe, from the trunk. So different parts of the plant can have different essential oils that do different things. But I love neroli. Neroli is one of my favorites. It's just a very beautiful floral fragrance. And you can kind of pick that up a little bit in Chill Zone. But some of my other favorites for improving sleep or rest or calming are obviously Chill Zone and then Balancing Act that I talked about. One of the ones that I thought was interesting when I started reading about the ingredients is Energize. So Energize, if you think about it, it's very uplifting because it has grapefruit and it's got citrus, but it can also be very calming because of the blend that it contains of all the different products that are in it. So that's another one that can actually help with rest and calming. Pure Air is another one. I love Pure Air. Mint Revival, because again, it helps open up the respiratory system. It can help you breathe more easily, which can help you calm down. Warm Spice is one that can be very calming as well because it has so many of those lovely spices in it. lemongrass, lavender, and even sweet orange can all help to calm you, improve sleep, and improve your ability to rest. And then some of my favorites for mood, I talked about obviously our citrus oils, but pure air is really great for improving mood because it does have that brightness from the citrus. Balancing act is another one that can help balance mood and emotions. Energize, which I just had out. Energize is great. Grapefruit is probably my favorite citrus oil. And so I love that our Energize blend contains grapefruit because it's just so very bright and sunny. And then some alternatives for improving mood and emotions are Chill Zone, Mint Revival, Warm Spice, and then our citruses. So lemon, lemongrass, frankincense, sweet orange, peppermint, and tea tree are others. So we have like just a plethora of solutions. And so again, you can focus on the blends. I love the blends because then you don't have to worry about, oh, is this going to help with this? And is this going to help for this? Because they're already expertly crafted to give you the benefits of all of those oils working together synergistically. So I love that we have such beautiful blends available that are already done for us.
Well, Marie, thank you for that. I truly appreciate it. And you're exactly right about the blends. It is so nice to be able to just, have that available. It's already done. And you're exactly right. I've smelled a lot of blends throughout the years, handcrafting products, all of the things you mentioned. And there were some clearly that I was like, wow, you open the bottle and you're like, no, thanks. You think that makes a huge difference for someone who is especially just getting involved with lemongrass, maybe just smelling some of them for the first time. And ours do smell remarkably different compared to what else you might find. I will find essential oils sometimes even in health food stores, and I wonder about the quality. A lot of them are not, the wild crafted or organic, certified organic. And I also wonder how much they've been watered down, quite frankly. And so there's a big difference in the quality. You did an excellent job of explaining so many of those pieces tonight, Marie, and we have one more thing in store for our audience. So let's tell them, because we're going to conduct a drawing and I'm going to be giving away 5 bottles of Marie. I made her pick and it wasn't easy. Her favorite essential oil blend, and we're going to be gifting those to our audience tonight. So if you are not a lemongrass consultant, because lemongrass consultants already get great perks and an inherent discount on products. So for our guests tonight, if they use the hashtag, what did you decide? What is your favorite oil going to be tonight?
I'm going to go with Chill Zone.
Okay, hashtag chill zone in the comments, and you might be one of our lucky winners, one of our 5 winners that I'm going to draw tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time from everybody who comments who is a guest on tonight.
That's so exciting. That's so generous, Heidi. Thank you so much for doing that, because I love that you're going to let people try this that maybe have never tried it before.
Oh, I love that blend. It's amazing. Yeah, when we named it, it was like, what can we think of that people will just resonate with in terms of, calming down for the day, just forget your worries, and chill zone came to mind and it stuck. And so that was a fun one to name.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Well, Marie, thank you so much. There's been so much great information tonight, and thank you to our audience for joining us. It's been so great, and everybody just have a wonderful evening. Thanks again, Marie, for all your expertise.
Oh, sure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.